something that I would say to somebody that's thinking about joining the industry, I'm going to go from a female perspective here, is know your boundaries, because you're going to have a lot of talent and a handful of directors that are going to try to push your boundaries and get extra things. And make sure that you stand firm on your ground of your boundaries. That way you don't get taken advantage of and don't get put in a precarious situation. So just be true to yourself. And also, for the gentlemen that want to join, I know that it is an exciting thing that you want to do, but remember to always be respectful to the girls that you work with and the ones that you aspire to work with. If you're trying to shoot content, reach out on a professional standpoint, not, hey sexy, hey beautiful, hey gorgeous, you want to, meet up, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to do that. It's a business transaction. So, hi there, I'm so-and-so. I would love to create some content with you. I'd love to work with you. These are my dates. Let me know if you have available dates and if you're interested. Simple as that. Don't be a creep.
Number one advice for girls, learn some boundaries and love yourself before you even step foot into this industry or become a social media star or whatever, because everybody will have something to say. For the males, be clean, but also reading your partner's energy is probably the number one thing that you need to do. You need, the girl shouldn't have to say oh, you're hurting my pussy, because you can feel when you're hurting someone's pussy, but learn, take the time. Careful of the pimp agents.
Touche.
Am I allowed to say that they're all pimps?
Yeah.
Some of them will make you a lot of money and a lot nicer, but yeah, the goal is to work for yourself. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Advice I would give to a guy is never assume anything. Always ask, always try to be a gentleman, I guess. For girls, I would say take the initiative. Probably not what you're thinking. Little stuff like bringing your own feminine things makes a big deal. Like douches and wipes and extra lingerie, makeup, everything.
I would tell a girl getting into the industry to take a moment and stop and think about the worst possible person who could find out that you do porn. Just the worst possible one, worst reaction, and assume they're gonna find out. And if you're not okay with that, then don't do it. Because even if you're super careful, it's really, really possible for people that you don't want to find out. So, keep that in mind. I actually say that for both guys and girls. Don't rush into anything. Pick your agent after talking to a bunch of people. Do your research, put time and effort into it. This can go for either, but generally speaking, the problems that you'd run into, I would tell a girl, don't be nervous. Go in with an understanding of what is expected of you and do your best possible job. Take it very seriously. Don't just assume because you're pretty that you don't have to put the work in or do uncomfortable positions or whatever. At the end of the day, you're being hired to perform, and they should tell you up front what that's going to mean. So they should tell you if it's going to be a cream pie or a facial, or if it's going to be a boy girl or a boy girl, or if they expect any anal play. They shouldn't surprise you with anything. But some companies, especially when you're a new girl, they'll try to surprise you with things and just be like, oh, well, it's okay if we add this, right? Don't ever say yes. Always say, well, let's call my agent and ask, because I don't know. I'm pretty new. So let's just call my agent and ask. And they'll probably say oh, we don't need to do that. You can make that decision. And you should just say, no, I think I really want to call and ask. And then walk into the other room and call your agent. And if they don't answer, you can always call somebody like me. I will give you the best advice I can. what I would tell a guy is don't be arrogant. It's a huge turnoff to be arrogant, at least for me. Go in, don't be scared of the crew because they might try to like tease you to kind of break you in. Just be ready for that. Have a thick skin. Practice tuning people out. That'll be good for you in the long run for sure. Practice politeness, but complimentary politeness. So when the girl shows up to set, don't go up to her and start grabbing on her or anything. Go up, introduce yourself like normal person, and you know, if you're excited to work with them today, say you're excited to work with them today. And then whenever it is time for you guys to shoot, go over do's and don'ts. If a guy initiates going over do's and don'ts, it stands out, because usually girls will need to initiate like, hey, let's go over what we're gonna do and what we're not gonna do today. So as a guy, if you do that, then you're ahead of the crowd. One of the other things that I would tell guys getting into the industry is be patient, and if you can't be patient, don't do it. Because you're gonna have to build up your reputation, you're gonna have to build up your basically your reputation, because girls have a lot of options when they want to use a guy in their scenes or when they want to work with a guy on set, and a lot of girls won't want to work with a new guy because there's plenty of other guys that are already established in the industry, and there's a lot less turnover for guys. Girls are in and out all the time, there's a shit ton of girls, but guys, when a guy is really solid, a company will use him over and over and over again until he's not solid anymore.
Just be patient.
Yeah, be patient. Okay. Because what has happened a lot of the time is if I turn down shooting with a new guy, like if he contacts me directly, he'll get really angry. And what that tells me is that I made the right decision and it was good for me not to work with him. Because I've actually even gotten a death threat from a guy that I didn't want to work with because he was new and I hadn't seen any of his work and I didn't know him at all personally. So, don't do that. That's a career ender. Just be patient and put in the work and shoot your own content if you need to, and find an agent that believes in you. So, that's it.
My advice for newcomers coming into the industry, starting with guys, penis size does have like something to do with it, but it's more so like keeping it up and being able to like come on time. Like those three things of like are of the utmost importance. For women, make sure you find a really good agent. Boundaries, super important. Like you want to come into the situation knowing what your hard no's are. You don't want to get yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And for male and female, stretching is super important. Realizing that you have to probably get an accountant because you have to become a corporation. There's a lot of things to consider, as well as the family and friends thing. So just come into it with a lot of forethought.
As a girl, I definitely found getting an agent and kind of listening to what they had to tell me, and reading the call sheet, big thing. A lot of times there's information in there, they're like, oh, I need to know that. And make sure you bring your extra goodies, you know, like your makeup remover, your summer eve wipes. Bring a lot of clothing options because they always want different things than what they actually tell you. And then I would say with men, you know, just stay in good shape. It's a very athletic job. I think if you work out like five days a week or so, like you're gonna do well. But if you're not working out, you need to get in shape, be in fucking shape. That's the main thing I feel like with male performers. I think you really got to get your athleticism up.